Howdy, howdy, ho.
Ho!
My name is Ryan McNeill.
Michael Frieri.
Welcome to the Brinx and Hearse podcast. And Mikey, let me tell you one thing. You've got a friend in me.
You got a friend of me as well.
That's so sweet to hear, Mikey. And today we are talking about Pixar, one of the greatest film studios of all time.
Of course, one of my favorites.
Provided family entertainment for nearly 3 decades now.
That's
Hard to
right.
believe. First film came out, Toy Story, 1995.
Yep.
Still one of their crown jewels. And today we're going to be counting down our top 10 Pixar films
Top
for
10,
you.
you know.
And there's a lot of them, so there'll be some differences between the lists, obviously.
Yeah, I think if you've seen our Nolan video,
A lot of similarities.
but I think what's so good about Pixar is any movie can go literally anywhere on a list. I remember watching videos and be like, oh, you just searched up like top 10 rankings just to see what other people thought. And every video that I watched were different in some ways. Like their number one, it can be argued. Number one can be argued to be literally anything.
Yeah, there's
except
so many,
for Turning Red.
There's so many things I would be okay with. Like my top 8 is you can put them in any order, honestly. Like that's probably in a class of its own.
Yeah, I would say like top 5. You know, take your pick.
And we are children of the aughts. Pixar was all the rage growing up.
The odds.
And we remember when it was like an event when a Pixar movie came out. Like I remember Brave came out, and that was like an event that Pixar was coming out with a movie.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they make a lot more movies. Disney Animation makes their own movies, so it's not as big a deal, but
Yeah.
they're still batting pretty damn good.
We do have Elemental coming out, I think, in the summer.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
I
that.
saw a clip of it. I didn't watch the full trailer, though.
I think it looks good.
Yeah. It still has that name where whatever it is, I'm already intrigued, and I'm probably going to see it at some point.
You ever play, I think it was like Water Boy and Fire Boy and Water Girl?
No.
Oh, it's like a cool little like game that like kids will play during school. Like
It sounds familiar enough that I probably have seen it before. I think you were trying to say Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
No.
Oh, okay.
It was like Fire Boy, Shark, Water Girl, something like that.
All right. Shall we dive into our top 10s?
And same format as we usually do. One off.
Well, yeah. Brief comments if it's coming up.
Yeah. If if my number 10 is his number 9, just talk about it right then and there. If my number 10 is say his number 1, we'll give our piece because 2 different perspectives.
Yeah. So Mike, hit me up with your number 10th greatest Pixar film of all time.
It was pretty tough to pick my number 10, to be quite honest with you, but I'm glad I settled.
These are all tough decisions.
Yes, I'm glad I settled on this one. And just an FYI, on Letterboxd, my number 10 is a 4, and everything after that is a 4.5.
All my 10s are 4.5s.
Stuff could very well be a 5. I just need to rewatch them. I haven't seen them in a while. My number 10, WALL-E.
Okay.
Is that your number 10?
No, WALL-E. I'm not a big WALL-E guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
I think like the first, when you think about WALL-E, you think about the first sequence, like the silent film type stuff. And I think that's what really sells this thing for me. Everything after that, but I think it's a really sweet love story. Pretty scary look into our potential future.
Yes.
Which I think it speaks volumes even more so now. I love everything about it. It just, at the end it falls off a little bit for me. Not much more I could say about that. Great visuals too. It's
good
Pixar.
visuals.
Everything's great visuals.
Yeah.
But I really, when he's like flying in space and he's like, going like this. Everyone takes pictures of, everyone has that in their thing. But
I like WALL-E.
Yeah.
But it is honestly probably towards the bottom of my list. I should get a rewatch, honestly. I probably saw it in theaters and maybe once after that. I still remember a great deal of it, but I don't remember ever like really getting into it for whatever reason.
I can understand that. It grew on me more over time. I think as a kid, I really don't care for it.
Now that I'm older, I feel like maybe I would, if I was turned off by maybe the silent stuff, a protagonist who doesn't really speak.
Yeah.
I might be able to watch it now and be a lot more into it.
I think you would like it now.
Yeah. So yeah, I should rewatch that one. It's a
Yeah.
good number 10 though.
I should rewatch everything on here except for Turning Red.
Okay.
That's my last one, folks. That's on the dead last on my list.
I have not seen it. It's better. It's worse than Cars 2 and A Bug's Life.
Where's Bug's Life? Bug's Life is 15 for me. I have 22 films on here. I like Bug's Life. I remember.
I think
loving
it's
it.
fine. But...
It's a special place as a kid. I used to always watch that.
Okay, I never saw it as a kid. But my number 10, I got Toy Story 4.
Okay, haven't seen that one.
All right. A lot of people complain about it just because they're like, oh, it ruins the ending of Toy Story 3. You shut the fuck up. Toy Story 4 has just as good, if not a better ending.
Okay.
And this is one of those movies that more people complain about it that haven't seen it than any other movie. There's so many people that
She
just
kind
hate
of munching on Takis out there.
He's having a good day. It's a movie that so many people just don't like, oh, the fact that it exists, but they haven't watched it and realized it's a really good movie.
Okay.
It's well put together throughout. One problem, the character of Buzz is just kind of there. They didn't really have a really good story to put him through because he's not really in conflict with Woody or anything anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So his character kind of takes a step back, which is unfortunate, but it just kind of happens.
Yeah, yeah.
It has allowed for, I think, maybe arguably the funniest Toy Story movie. This one is hilarious, and it still gives you all those emotional gut punches. The animation's amazing. Toy Story 4 is really, really good. I don't want to spoil anything for you because you haven't seen it.
I will have to say, when this was announced, I was not for it because like, why the hell? We just had
I felt the same.
Great ending.
I was optimistic because it's that team, but
yeah,
still, yeah.
But I'm looking forward to watching it because Toy Story is one of the best groups of characters. You know, do you know there's rumors about Toy Story 5?
Yeah, I believe they are. It's somewhat in development.
Okay.
Which I was proven completely wrong about 4, so I'm not going to say anything about 5.
All right.
Yeah, that's why I feel better right now.
I mean, I think Tom Hanks.
They wouldn't do it if they don't get everybody.
Yeah, Tom Hanks, great job as Woody. I think, like probably the best animated character of all time.
Woody's up there for sure.
Yeah. And Woody's probably the face of Pixar.
Yeah, more than anybody else.
Yeah.
It's like Woody, Mike Wazowski, I don't know, Lightning McQueen maybe.
And I could see for Toy Story 4, like you said, how Buzz is kind of off to the side. They could have very well, I think, maybe cut him out. It could have just been like a Woody story.
They could have. That would have caused more people upset that Buzz wasn't there. And they'd have to write him out in kind of a weird way.
But they went to go write a whole Lightyear movie, you know?
Well, that was a completely different idea, though.
I know. That's not very high on my list.
I haven't seen that one. I'm excited to see that one, though. I think that's another movie people just complain about because they don't understand the idea.
I understand the idea. It was just very boring.
Okay, like that's a reasonable criticism.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people just like, why isn't it Tim Allen? It's like, bro, that's not the whole idea.
And it's very tongue-in-cheek. But we're not here to talk about that.
Yes.
It's not on our top 5.
Yes. Now, we're on to your number 9.
My number 9, this is a fairly recent one, came out during the pandemic. I fucking love this thing because it's Pixar tackling the meaning of life, and that's Soul.
My number 11. Almost cracked the top 10. Almost made it. So good.
Yeah, I could very well give this a 5. I could very well give anything here after 10 a 5. And if I'm not mistaken, besides WALL-E, I don't know, Coco, Incredibles.
What are you listing?
I'm trying to see like Pixar movies with just humans.
Oh yeah, there aren't many.
All right. Anyways, yeah. And I think like the spirit world was really cool. I think the villain was actually really fun. I forget what his name is. It's like Jerry.
Yeah, I don't really remember.
Yeah. And he's like the actuary.
Incredibly
like
enjoyable.
looking through the inventory and stuff to find if there's like a missing soul. Really cool.
That was one of my favorite things about it was the spirit world. And it's somewhat vague, but it's meant to be vague.
And I think, like the meaning of it is, pay attention to the little things. You might find something that you'll enjoy more. Your life will be a little more brighter. Yeah. Which I think
just go with the flow.
It speaks a lot of volumes right now where everyone, everything's digital. Everyone's just moving fast and we're all got our heads down. So I like the message it was giving.
And great performances by both Jamie Foxx, Tina Fey.
Yes.
Fantastic. And maybe the best animation that Pixar's done.
Okay.
I think in the respect of realistic looking. There are some backgrounds that look like photographs.
Yes.
And obviously characters are meant to look like characters, but still, like textures on sweaters and different things. This is like, I think this is the most recent one I've seen. And it's like their most advanced technologically in terms of the look, I feel.
I agree.
So, yeah, Soul is great.
And I do think, like how you said, each Pixar movie, Pixar has like a way of animating, but each has like its own art style.
Yes.
This dives into more realistic.
Yeah, the people in Soul don't look like the people in Incredibles.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can say that for any of the other humans. And then obviously, even if you go to animals and monsters, everything looks different.
Yeah.
My number 9. So I think a gentleman who works at Pixar was sitting on his couch one day. He maybe was sitting in his office. And he was trying to think of the next billion-dollar idea to make a movie about. And he turned on the TV, and The King of Queens was on. And he saw Patton Oswalt, and he said, I need that man in a Pixar film. And that's why he made Ratatouille.
Oh, shit. Much higher on my list, so I won't talk about it yet.
Okay. It's fantastic. That I really need to rewatch because I absolutely love it, and I haven't seen it in a long time. So I'll probably like it even more if I gave it another look. But Patton Oswalt's great in it. The whole setting, anything with, like you'd have watched The Bear. I watched the first episode of The Bear with Mikey not too long ago. He had seen it before, but he's prepping for season 2. Anything, the intensity of a kitchen and all those characters bouncing off each other. And I remember the guy, I killed man with this thumb. It's funny. And the rat world is so developed, too.
Yeah.
They have the two worlds that you fully understand everything that's going on in both. They're both complex enough. They're both different enough. And you care about the characters in each of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Remy is he's an outcast.
Yeah.
And you can identify with him. And he sees the ghost of Gusto, whatever it was.
Gusto.
Gusto.
I might as well just say we both seem to have a positive.
Yeah, we both love it. Yeah. We'll move on now because we'll talk about it again later.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, what's your number 9?
Oh, my number 8 now.
Oh, your number 8, excuse me.
My number 8 is Monsters, Inc.
Okay. Again, that'll hit me later, so a little spiel.
Great world that we got introduced to. I think Sully and Mike are fantastic characters. Some of the Pixar's best characters. Very touching story with Boo. It was a really cool setup world. The world runs on screams.
Randall.
People who supply the power are the scarers, but not only are they the engineers of the world, but they're also basically like baseball players because there's baseball cards of them.
Yes, you have to. It's performance based.
Yes.
You have to show up.
They're the big stars.
They have the ranking on the board.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I think Mike's story Mike is definitely the best character I think in that movie. Where he's
he's the most complex. Sully's he's a good-hearted dude.
Yeah, and
Mike's dealing with a lot of things.
He's
got a girlfriend.
Insecurities. He always wanted to be the top scarer, could never make it, and then he found his own path in the end with comedy, and that changed the entire course of the monster world. By the way, have you seen Monsters at Work? It's like a little Disney Plus.
Yeah, I watched it.
I like it. I think it's pretty funny.
It's fun. It's neat.
I think it's pretty. I laugh a lot in that.
Yeah, I think I probably have my expectations too high because I always felt like if they do a sequel thing in any capacity, which I'm very surprised they have never done any kind of sequel to Monsters Inc. except from this series, because I always want to see what else happened with Boo. Because Sully has a relationship with her. He maintains it because Mike put the door together at the end of the movie. I always wanted to see like what happened next there. Not like, I needed to see it. There's just so many different ways you could go.
Yeah.
And that'd be very interesting if they did that. There was a scrap sequel that they were going to do that had something to do with, I think, them getting trapped in the human world when they go to visit Boo or something like that.
It's all right, I guess.
But yeah, and they ended up going with Monsters U instead, which is great. So I can't complain, but yeah, I love Monsters Inc. And we'll be talking about that a little later.
All right.
My number 8, we're entering the impeccable 8. These can go in any order, honestly. These are all basically 5 stars for me. Number 8, I got Coco.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty low on my list.
Really? Why?
Not that low. I thought it was good. It wasn't great.
Oh, I think it's amazing. And I don't even get like the emotional gut punch that a lot of people talk about at the end. Like it works for me and there's a payoff, but just the whole story throughout is such a good message about family, remembering, honoring, tribute, but not everybody appearing as they seem. And people disguising who maybe they actually are, like you saw with Ernesto de la Cruz. And another just fascinating idea. Like Monsters, Inc. brings you into this world. Coco brings you into this whole world that you're just interested in, how it works. And it creates a place you want to go to.
You go, Monsters, Inc. brings you into this world. Coco brings you into this whole world.
Well, they're both worlds.
That's all right.
Coco's fantastic. And amazing visuals, too.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. I can't get enough of Coco.
I think like the exploration of like the dead was really cool.
Yeah, and
really
like
cool.
Soul, like you said, deals with meaning of life, life and death as a matter of it. Coco deals with a lot of that too. Yeah, meaningful life. What do you leave behind? How you remember?
Do we forget our dead relatives? Stuff like that. We always want to keep them in our hearts.
Yeah, Coco's fantastic. Another mature theme
Yes.
handled
yes.
here. Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic.
I think a lot of Pixar nowadays, more modern Pixar, all of Pixar really. There's a lot for the adults, you know. A lot of
I think that's always
darker
been their.
not darker themes, more adult themes.
I think it's always been one of their monikers, I guess.
Except for Turning Red, because that thing sucks.
Bro, let it go. I'm not gonna defend it because I haven't seen it. Just let it go.
Sorry. Anyways.
But no, I think that's always been the thing is that there's something for parents to look at because Finding Nemo, you can identify more as a parent than a kid because it's about
Lost Child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can identify with Nemo as a kid because it's a kid who's scared and lost.
Mm-hmm.
And same with Monsters Inc. They're dealing with their parents. They have to parent this kid in a way and get them back.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's the duality of it. The Incredibles is mostly about a marriage than anything else.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So I believe we're on to your number 7.
My number 7 is Speak of the Devil, Monsters U. I said in my last video I would take Monsters U over Monsters Inc. And there it is, just one spot higher.
One spot above.
Because I think it's just more fun.
Like I said last week, I don't necessarily agree with it. Monsters U is lower on my list, but I totally get it.
I think it's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah,
Man.
it's funny. We love the characters. It's just more colorful, more vibrant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, like we said, the tournament.
Yes, anything with a tournament is good.
Yeah, cool. And I think the like the principal or the professor, or whatever, super scary. Like I'm scared of her a little bit. Like that flying cockroach lady.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. Hold on, let me look it up.
Know.
But yeah, they do a school setting well. They do a tournament thing good.
Dean Hardscrabble.
How about that? I love Squishy.
Yeah, Squishy was great.
Uzma Cap is the only fraternity I would ever.
I like the older guy. I forget what his name is. You know what I'm talking about? He's like an adult in like the college. He had the mustache on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was funny.
Now on to my number 7. We also discussed this last week. I have Inside Out.
I thought this was going to be your number 1. How high you were talking about the other day?
I mean, I love it so much, but the top 6 is just has a little more to it.
Okay.
For me, and nostalgia is also playing a role here.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be able to tell like when we were born based off of this list.
Oh yeah,
but
definitely.
Inside Out came out 2015, so a little later than it wasn't a movie I grew up with by any means.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, fantastic, incredible message. I think it's like an important movie with an important message that every kid should see at some point in their upbringing.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I really have no notes with it. It doesn't drag. I love the characters. And just again, a cool idea. An idea
Yeah, I think it's
you
a
haven't thought
really,
of.
really neat idea.
Yeah. So Inside Out, we talked about it enough last week, so
I'll
leave it be.
But what Inside Out 2 is coming.
Yes, very excited. Which I never thought we were gonna get it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's gonna be with Riley again, or it's gonna be like a different system?
That's actually an interesting point. I always thought it would be with Riley.
Okay.
It's an interesting enough idea that you could do with a completely different person.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it with an adult, a teenager, anything. I think they are gonna stick with Riley because I remember at the end of the movie they go to the board and they're like, "Oh, we got a new board where they can each better operate." Because she's more at the end, it's supposed to be like she's more of a whole person. She feels different things. She's affected differently. She understands herself better. And there's a big button that says puberty on it. And they're like, "Oh, I guess we'll hit that whenever." So that's like a whole movie you could do right there.
Yeah.
All the emotions of adolescence. So, I mean, they could set it between, because she's supposed to be like 12, 13, I think, in Inside Out. You could have her 15 through 20, and it'll be fascinating. So either way they go, it's enough of a great basic idea that I'm confident it's going to be great.
Okay.
What do you have for your number 6, Mikey?
My number 6, this one, when I first watched this, like took me by surprise because I was like, it's one of their newer ones.
Okay.
I think this has the best art style in all of Pixar. I think it's a whole lot of fun, a great world, and I'm talking Luca.
Really?
Oh.
This high? I like Luca.
Okay.
This high though.
Yeah, I really like this thing.
Wow, it's good. Yeah, it's mine 16.
It's a 4.5 for me.
Wow,
That
is shocking.
Why?
I just don't think it's anything special.
Really?
It's fun. It's very accessible. I could watch it again today and have a good time with it. It has that rewatchability. It has heartfelt stuff in it, but I don't know. It didn't hit me like that though.
I think it's like, touching, but it's also really funny. Like if I'm like actually like outburst laughing, it's funny.
Yeah.
Movies, Snickers here there, but like this thing got me laughing. I think it's hilarious. Again, the art style I think is so good.
All of the underwater stuff looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean,
especially
like the entire town that they're in, all cool stuff. Great touching story between Luca and Alberto Scorfano. I could see them doing a sequel because he goes off, but if they don't, that's okay. If they do,
I would like a sequel to this.
Okay,
I think that'd be cool. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, and some really cool, music to it. Some really lovable characters with the dad, Juliet's dad. With the scruffy eyes.
Oh yeah,
he's funny. His parents.
The fish people parents trying to get him back. Yeah,
his uncle were like, oh yeah, you're gonna go down the abyss with your uncle, and he's like translucent and like whatever. I don't know, guys. It was a whole lot of fun for me.
I really like Luca. 6 is surprising though. I'll be honest.
Okay. I like to turn heads a little bit sometimes, Ryan.
Yeah, you gotta deviate. Yeah. My number 6, I got Toy Story 3.
Okay.
I have probably seen Toy Story 3 more than any movie I've ever seen in my life. I
Really?
saw it, yeah, because I saw it twice in the theater at least. I saw it in 3D in the theater, and I feel like I've just been scrolling through channels, and it's been on Disney Channel, and I watch it at least once a year. So I feel like I know Toy Story 3 inside and out. And obviously it's not the end of the story because Toy Story 4 happened.
Yeah. Do you think that disservices Toy Story 3?
Absolutely not, because without giving away what happens to Toy Story 4, Toy Story 3 finishes the chapter between the toys and Andy.
Okay.
And it does that so well. Toy Story 4 wraps up the chapter in a different way. So it'd be between a different dynamic of characters and people, let's say. So it does not disservice it at all in Toy Story 4. Toy Story 3 is funny, it's fast. Lotso is a great villain. And I mean, the setting of in a daycare, like that's like hell for the toys. They can understand it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no notes for it. It's scary at the end. I mean, we talk about life and death again. I remember as a kid watching the scene in the trash thing.
Oh yeah.
It was terrifying.
I'm getting chills right
now.
now.
Because and the music like dum 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 dum. And like you think
they're all holding hands.
Yeah, they're all holding hands. It's like I just watched Woody, Buzz, and Jesse accept their death on camera.
Yeah.
Because there's this, it's honestly terrifying. Because you see Bullseye like trying to fight out of the trash and get back up. And Jesse just puts her hand on him and goes, no. And they just close their eyes. And then thankfully, the little aliens were there.
God bless.
God bless the little aliens with the claw. But Toy Story 3 it's just so good start to finish. I really have no doubts about it. And dealing, again, with more adult themes or more complex themes for kids, I guess you could say, dealing with, at the start of the movie, the toys are kind of forgotten. They don't know their place. They don't know their purpose or their role. And they knock it out of the park in this one.
More on that from me later.
Okay. All right. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is, I think, one of the most iconic movies of all time. Is Finding Nemo.
I also have Finding Nemo at number 5.
Go
the first crossover.
There we go.
So good.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think it's one of the. You know how I said Interstellar is a great adventure movie? This is another one of those.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I think it's a really cool story about a parent losing their child, and they're going across the lengths that distances he'll go, across oceans to go find him. I really like how they handled like the two separate stories between Marlin and Dory.
Yeah, equally interesting.
Yeah, and then Nemo, and then Dory and Nemo. Kind of like a swap. I think it was cool, really cool stuff.
All the stuff in the tank is great. It's hilarious.
Yep.
And it had
a Pixar movie with Willem Dafoe. How about that?
Yes, Willem Dafoe. Gil, I believe, was his character's name.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And Brad Garrett as well with the shark bait. Hoo-ha-ha.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And but I love the movie, obviously. But it's strange how it has some wonderful visuals. The tank looks bright and colorful and everything, and the scene with the jellyfish looks great.
Yeah, that's a cool scene.
But there's times where it's very, very minimalist. Like there's times where Marlin and Dory are talking for sequences where it's just the ocean behind them. There really isn't much going on around them. And same with, especially for the sequence where There's the scary fish with the big teeth and like the light hanging over
Yeah.
it, and it's a scene where it's black and then it's a flash of it, and then black and then it's a flash of it.
Her little squishy, she called it.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So the animation is wonderful in very different ways. It has great visuals, but also can be very basic with them in a good way, which commends the writing that sometimes it's just these two characters having this hilarious dialogue, and that's all you need.
Yep.
You don't need anything else to spice it up.
Yep.
Because as a base, it's that good.
I agree.
Visually, in like their first 10 years, probably their best one, I think.
Yeah. No notes for me here. Perfect.
My number 4, I have Monsters, Inc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say or no?
I mean, I love it. I think it's great. I mean, Boggs is a fantastic villain. Steve Buscemi. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know if I really have anything more to say on this one. It's great. Mike and Sully are fantastic. And I think, I don't want to say a proper sequel because Monsters at Work exists, but a proper film sequel about the two of them, I think could be very, very interesting.
I agree.
I really like that idea.
I agree. Yeah.
All right, what do you got at number 3?
Or 4 now.
Oh, excuse me, you're number 4. Yes.
Yeah, excused. Toy Story 2.
Okay.
My
lips are sealed.
Okay. I think it takes everything that they caught with Toy Story in the bottle and runs with it in a great way again, adding some more great characters with Jessie and Bullseye. Really great scenes where, Woody's lost and Buzz is trying to find him, and he gets. I love the scene where the guy cleans up Woody for the collector. Fun ideas with the guy in like the chicken suit, and he's the toy collector. And is this the one where they're hiding in the cones and they're going across the street?
Yeah.
Great scene.
And Mr. Potato gets his foot stuck on a piece of gum.
Yep. And I think it's also the one where Woody's like holding on to Buzz as he's like flying across from the truck.
No, that was in the first one.
Oh, that was the first one? I always confused the two.
Okay.
But yeah, Toy Story 2. It's good. I'll save it because not fresh on my mind, but I'm sure you have much more to say about it.
That was your number
4. You're on 4.
Okay, my number 4 is Monsters Inc. So my number 3 is Toy Story 1.
Okay. That's my number 2.
Perfect. Start it all.
Yeah.
It's straightforward, pretty basic. But again, the theme of Woody, he feels like he's being replaced. He doesn't know his role in the only environment he knows. He's a control freak. He's a very flawed character, especially in the first movie, Woody.
Yes.
Where he has a lot of issues. He basically tries to murder Buzz at one point. But he gets his comeuppance, and they look past their differences, which is a wonderful, wonderful lesson for the kiddos.
And I just think the whole world of toys that are sentient is just super cool and something like kids think about all the time. Like, are my toys really real? When I'm making all these stories and stuff like that.
When you identify a personality to them.
Yeah.
And they all are very unique too. Mr. Potato Head is snarky and he's kind of mean. Rex is kind of nervous and apprehensive and kind of cowardly. Sleeky Dog's whatever.
Yeah.
Bo Peep is just kind of there, but she gets a lot of time in Toy Story 4. She's a much better character in that.
And I like the idea of like your toys take care of your child.
Yes, it's like a duty and a job for them that they have to be there. They have to be ready.
Yeah.
I also one thing. It is the first one, so they haven't fully nailed down the models of people yet.
Yeah, the animation's a little wonky,
but I can completely look past it.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, Sid's kind of supposed to look kind of weird.
I know.
And I mean, how many adults do we see? We see Sid, Andy, and the mama. I think that's it. Oh, and the kid, but you can make a kid.
The
look
mom
kinda
you
weird.
never really see. You just see her legs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's really just Andy, and Andy it's fine to me.
Or like her body.
He's supposed to be a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, the one that started it all, deservedly very high on both of our lists.
Yes. And your number 2, are we on?
My number 2, I don't think it's in your top 15, maybe.
Was it Turning Red?
No. I told you I haven't seen it. Okay. I have The Incredibles.
Yeah, it's not in my top 15.
Which is so weird to me. That just seems like a movie you would love.
I don't know, man. I definitely need to rewatch it, but...
When's the last time you saw it?
I think I rewatched like all the Pixar. I mean, not all the Pixars, obviously, because there's still some I haven't seen. Maybe like 2-3 years ago.
Okay, so it is fairly fresh.
Yeah.
Wow. I absolutely love it. I think it's, no joke, probably a top 10 superhero movie for me.
I understand why people love it. I don't know. Just the characters don't really click with me that much. I don't really
Really?
enjoy them.
Wow, I love everyone,
Yeah, that's one of the things where
especially Helen.
I kind of like beat myself up about it that I don't like it as much as people do.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just don't.
You're just deviating from the crowd,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love it, and every character has something interesting going on. Mr. Incredible, he's going through a midlife crisis. He's having these issues with Helen. Helen is trying to get him out of it. She's trying to find her own place. While they used to do these incredible things and save people, and they were literally heroes. Then Dash is getting in trouble at school. He has to handle his powers. Violet's very kind of insecure adolescent teen,
Finding her way.
Yeah, just dealing with everything.
Yeah.
All while they have to conceal and hide the fact that they have all these powers.
Yeah.
And it's not just a matter of like, oh, I want to help people all the time. It's hard not to do anything without letting it out. It goes different places. We end up in the jungle, ends up in the city in the finale. They have the big, the Omnitron, I think it's called, at the end, which is a fantastic set piece. Frozone is great. Sam, got to give it up for Sam Jackson.
Yes, of course.
I would love a Frozone movie if we could get one.
Wow. I never even thought about that. That could be really cool.
I would love a Frozone movie.
What do you think about Incredibles 2?
I liked it. I didn't love it. It was honestly probably a little disappointing because obviously I think so highly of The Incredibles, but it did its job. Bob Odenkirk was in it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You kind of saw the villain coming. You kind of knew. The villain didn't hit you that hard.
Even more. This thing sucked. That sucked.
Okay. Jeez. But, I mean, Syndrome was such a good villain that it was obviously kind of a step down for Incredibles 2. Yeah. Incredibles 2 is more Helen, which I do like a lot.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was cool. And the great scenes with, what's his name, being a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
Math is math.
Yes. Yeah. Everything, Incredibles 2 had a lot of good stuff in it, but The Incredibles was great throughout for me.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why I have it at my number 2. And that's another movie I've probably seen, 20 times in my life. I've seen that movie so many times. And I just can't get enough.
And I just can't get enough.
Now, Mikey, what is your numero uno Pixar película?
Numero uno es Toy Story 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Number 1.
I think it takes everything I love, what I think is so great about Toy Story, and just turns up the ante.
Turns it up to 11.
Yeah, again, like we said, really dark themes, which I like surprised me in a good way for this, kind of movie. And I think what was really what really hit me the most was Andy's story about him going to college and the toys are, they've been outgrown.
Yeah.
They don't really have a home anymore. They try to get a home in daycare, doesn't work out. Obviously,
and especially because like it's been like that for years for them, and he hasn't played with them for so long, and they think daycare is this great opportunity for them, and it doesn't hit.
And at the end, with like when they're holding hands at the trash compactor to their death, it's kind of like they accept it because, well, they don't really have a place anymore. They have nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's
it's
part
kind
of
of their time.
They feel like they've, and they feel like they've done their job though.
And they're just toys. What really happens to toys in their end? They don't go to college. They don't they don't have funerals. They just get kind of just chucked in the garbage and burned like every other old toy. And I'm so glad that there was that final ending with Andy and Holly, I think her name, the girl. Bonnie. Yeah. Bonnie.
But they play with the toys one last time.
Yeah, and that was so great with him playing with the toys, and he was kind of like reliving everything.
Yeah, and then he gets in his car, he buckles his seatbelt, and then Bonnie
takes one last look.
Yeah, Bonnie's holding him, and she waves Woody's hand. Oh, I'm getting choked up now. I could
cry at that scene, man.
Oh, yeah.
Especially now with going off to college and really realizing how much I've grown.
Yeah,
this thing is so special.
It always would make my mom cry.
Yeah.
Around when me and my brother were going to college, when he went in 2017, 18, whatever, I went in 2020, it was just the mention of it, waterfalls.
What, Toy Story 3 or college?
Toy Story 3. Yeah, just the mention of Toy Story 3 because college was on the mind.
Yeah.
And it would just make her think of that so easily.
And like the villain of Lotso, he also had the same kind of fate where he thought he was left behind.
He had the same, he's bitter for a reason.
Yeah.
In a way.
And, he went to daycare and that's where he figured, I can finally make this place my own and never happen again. And, almost like a mafia going on over there.
It is. He's the boss. He's the
Yeah.
boss. And it becomes almost, at the end, it's like it's a prison escape movie.
Yeah.
When they're like, you have to do this at this time, and then we'll do this to get
I had
the
to tell
guard
you,
out.
even now when I watch it, I am scared. Like, I'm really scared. Like, I'm like, oh my God, they need to get out of here. And like with the scene with the monkey.
The monkey. Oh my God.
Yeah.
As a kid, and still to this day, because it scared me so much as a kid. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Especially the shot where Woody is like swinging from behind him, and he's gonna like grab him, and then the monkey turns around at the last second.
Yeah.
And it took up the entire movie screen.
Yeah.
It terrified me as a kid.
I think this is like a scary movie to me.
It's just a horror film for you.
It's so scary. I'm on like, and like the phone character where
I thought
he's
he was
like
cool. He was cool.
He was so cool, and then he had all like tips and tricks or whatever.
Yeah,
and,
he told Woody like how to get out of here.
Yeah, and then he gets broken at the end, and sad demise, and
That's what happens when you cross the boss.
that's very true. Just so cool, and you introduces you to this whole world of new toys.
Also, the toys at Bonnie's are also likable.
Yes,
One voiced by Kristen Shaw, Jeff Garland. There's the Peas in the Pod. All of them are likable too.
Yeah, and it shows you that it was kind of a glimpse into more Toy Story movies can happen, So I think that was kind of cool.
And they've done, after this, they did 2 or 3 like
shorts
for ABC Family, now Freeform.
Yeah.
That were good. They were fun little things about them in that world, living in Bonnie's house.
Yeah. Probably one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
So good. And like you said, your most seen movie. I watch this movie a lot too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's my number 6, and like I said, my 8 are interchangeable. So I echo pretty much everything you're saying here.
And like I always said, I get a little confused between Toy Story 1 and 2. There ain't no confusing this one.
I think the time.
It's very clearly which one is Toy Story 3.
I think the time gap helps too.
That too. But it's so thematically, it's very different.
Yes. Yeah, because that was the first time I think they reached a point where they realized that the target audience wasn't fully entirely children anymore.
Yeah, it was kind of closing it up for the true, the initial kids.
Anybody, literally in just society now, because the first one came out in 1995. So anybody born since like 1985 has grown up with Toy Story.
Yeah.
So if like when Toy Story 4 came out, if you're 34 years old, you probably have a connection to it. Anybody that age or younger.
Yeah. Which
speaks to the longevity of the franchise too, because these were 15 years apart, I think. Toy Story 1 through 3. And just as great between all those years.
I mean, I have to say too, I know you're trying to close up on me here, but
no, I still got to do my number 1.
Oh, sorry. Andy at the end kind of almost seemed like, obviously he never knows what happened in between, like with Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2. He doesn't know that they're alive, but you could almost like see that he kind of knows, like he kind of thinks they're alive to him. Obviously not in the way that they actually are, but he has such a connection to them. Like he wanted to take Woody with him because he's his best friend in college. Do you think you should have took Woody to college with him?
It's a really tough question. I remember when I watched this movie, I thought about My Little Monkey.
Oh, Little Monkey. What's his name?
I was a very creative kid. His name was Ryan.
Oh.
I had a little stuffed monkey, and he was my favorite little stuffed animal, my favorite toy. And I kind of viewed Woody as him. And when I watched the movie, I was like, well, I know I'm bringing him to college. There's no two ways about that. And college came, and I was like, yeah, I'm not bringing that with me. So I can understand Andy's decision not to bring him. He puts him in the attic. That was his intention, to put him in the attic at least.
Well, no, Woody's intention was to go to college with him.
Woody thought he was going. Yeah.
Everyone else was.
Yeah, Woody tried to get in that box.
No, Andy put him in the box.
Andy put him in the college box?
Yeah, Andy was going to bring him to college.
All the other toys, though, he put in the bag.
Yes, to go to the attic.
Oh, okay.
Fuck, what was I going to say? But yeah, and then at the end, he sees Woody, because I think he figured that Woody was going to be in the box to college, and then he sees Woody in the box when he's giving it to Holly.
Oh, that's right.
And he's like kind of conflicted, like, do I give it to her or not?
Yeah. And then she goes, my cowboy.
Yeah, and he's like, he's going to have a happier life. Because obviously, he kind of feels like a toy should be played with,
Yeah.
That's their life.
Yeah. And he's like, the kid deserves to have the toy. What am I going to do with this toy? And he's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my number one is Toy Story 2.
Yes.
I think this is the peak for me.
Okay.
I don't think they've done better than this. And obviously, that isn't disparaging anything else, but it just hits the ground running. You're already developed from 1 fully. The animation's a step above. It's been 4 years. They got a lot more money now. And like you said, Prospector Pete as a great villain.
Mm-hmm.
You're introduced to Jessie and Bullseye. Jessie looks out the window and reminisces about her past life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very heartbreaking scene. That might be the saddest moment in any Pixar movie, which is saying something, too. Toy Story 2 it does it for me. And the 2 Buzzes are great. They're back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
The one who doesn't know and the one who does know.
That was such a cool dynamic because, like, you know, in the first Toy Story, Buzz was convinced.
Yeah, he knows he's a space ranger.
Yeah. And then, you know, it shows great growth between the first and the second.
And Emperor Zurg shows up.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
I can't think of anything else to say. It's just so good. The aliens show up in this one too. Again.
Oh, is that Pizza Planet?
Pizza Planet's in the first one, but the alien, they're like they're hanging from like a rearview mirror in this one. They show up again. Like he said, scene with the crossing the street, the scene in the elevator, the ends at the airport. Great climax at the airport, and then the plane like flies right over them and said, "Let's get home."
Yeah,
so good, and just sweet little thing. Everybody's happy at the end. Everything works out.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I mean, Toy Story just the Godfather of Pixar.
They are easily the Godfather of Pixar, and there's a reason that all those movies were so high on our lists.
Oh shit! I skipped my number. My number 3 was Ratatouille. I never said it.
Oh, you did.
I was about to say, my top 3. I was like, I thought Toy Story was number 4.
Yeah, we must have. Oh, okay.
Ratatouille, really good.
Okay.
So much fun. Anyone can cook. It doesn't matter.
Anyone can cook. Even a rat can cook.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story.
Love to have my rat cook me a little Ratatouille. Anyways,
even if he gives you a little pull on the hair.
Yeah, you said enough when you said it.
Yeah. I love all the faces in that movie. The main guy, the girl with the dark hair, all that, and even Anton Ego, is that his name? The food critic. Yeah. All of them have very interesting faces. Everything stands out to you in that movie. Yeah, very identifiable. So, Mikey, that's Pixar. Like we said, Toy Story, they're the Godfathers. They built the house. They're still running the house, more or less. Woody is the face of Pixar. So I have a couple of fill-in-the-blanks for you as we finish this up.
All right.
To Infinity.
And Beyond.
Brinx Truck.
And Hearse.
This has been the Brinx Truck and Hearse podcast. My name is Ryan McNeill.
Michael Frieri.
And we wish you a Heidi. Ho!